Welcome to the Launch Capsule. With your host, James DuBos. Buckle up because your launch capsule begins now.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome back to the Launch Capsule. Today we're talking about something that sits at the heart of every great business. Not your tech stack, not your margins, not even your growth plan, but something far deeper. Culture. And specifically why the foundation of any great company culture is service. Let's just call it out. Culture's become a buzzword. Companies talk about culture like it's something you decorate your office with. Free snacks, team outings, flexible Fridays. But here's the truth. You don't build culture with perks. You build it with people. You build it with purpose. And the attitude of service is the clearest, strongest expression of that purpose. The companies that build cultures that actually last, where people show up energized, where teams move with clarity, where results are real, those are the companies built on service. Service to customers, service to community and to each other, service to a mission that matters. If you're a business owner listening to this, here's what I want you to hear. Service isn't a department. It's not a job title. It's a mindset that has to start at the top and trickle into every single conversation, decision, and action. I've seen companies grow fast and burn out just as quickly because they missed this. They scaled headcount before they scaled care. They had systems, but no soul. And I've also seen teams of 10 outperform teams of 30 because they were locked in on why they do what they do, to make life better for someone else. That's what service is really all about. Let me give you a real example. One of my clients, we'll call him Mark, had a decent company, good revenue, solid margins, but he was stuck. Turnover was high, morale was low, and he couldn't figure out why. We did an assessment and found out something interesting. His team didn't feel like they were doing meaningful work. They were busy, but they didn't feel valued by Mark. So we didn't start with process documentation or org charts. We started with a question. Who are we really serving and how do we show it every day? That one shift changed everything. Internal communication improved. Clients stayed longer. And yes, profits followed. Because when people feel like their work matters, when they feel valued, they bring more of themselves to it. Leading with service means asking yourself every single day, how am I making life easier for my team today? Where can I remove friction? Am I listening or just talking? Culture doesn't live in a mission statement. It lives in how you show up. And if you're a founder who's still in the weeds of your business, working 70 plus hours a week, feeling trapped, it's tempting to think culture is something you'll get to later. But here's the thing. Culture builds itself in your absence or your presence. If you're not intentional, you're still building a culture. You just might not like the one you end up with. Start with service and everything else, systems, scale, value, gets easier. So here's your challenge for the week. Identify one way you can serve better. Your team, your clients, even yourself. Maybe it's listening more, maybe it's acknowledging someone's work. Maybe it's simply stepping out of the operator role and acting like the owner your company needs you to be. Because service isn't soft, it's the structure behind the strongest companies I've ever built. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me today. I hope you have an awesome week.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Launch Capsule. With your host and mentor to success, James DuBos. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and share.